Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Czech Tier 10 auto-loading medium tank, the TVP T50/51. Now this is a tank that has a 4-shot auto-loader with 320 alpha. It's the original Czech tank, or the original Czech Tier 10. It's pretty solid. It used to be really good, and then they randomly nerfed it a very long time ago. They nerfed it just before the machine came out, docked its intro clip down a little bit, so it went from like 1.5 intro clip to 1.7, and then they nerfed the reload as well. A little bit weird when they released the machine, because then the machine came out, which was just a whole completely better platform, and it had the same gun stats as the pre-nerf TVP. Similar reload to it as well. Weird. So really the TVP is one that I don't often play, because I play it and I simply think, why am I not playing the machine? Right? I don't really particularly enjoy the TVP too much, because it's a big fat tank. It's not got much camo. It's got no armor. You can ricochet the odd shot here and there, but never rely on it. It's just angles that sometimes bounce shots. I don't know. It's just not really for me. Like, the machine is more my tank because I just have the durability. I can get up on ridgelines and get hull down. I can drop this clip in, and I can do it a lot quicker. This 1.7 intro clip is really quick, as you've seen in this M60. It's really quick, but the 1.5 second aim time definitely felt more true to it, and definitely being more used to the machine with the 1.5. It feels just that little bit slower when you're dropping out the clip. It's still a good. I still think it's a pretty solid tank, but it's just not my favourite cup of tea. And yeah, these two games that you're going to be seeing were from a little while ago. Again, there's some of those that have been sat in the archive that I've definitely meant to get out, because it is a fun tank, and it's definitely something that you should grind for, because the whole grind is great, right? Well, not the whole grind, okay. The Tier 8 is garbage. The Tier 8 Tech Tree TVP VTU is just awful. It's an awful tank. But you get the sweet spot, which is the Tier 9 Skoda T50. The Skoda T50 is an absolute beauty of a tank. That thing is incredible. Then you get to this thing, oh my, wonderful driving in full display in HD once again. Great driving, bro. But who needs to drive properly when you can just drop a whole clip in on your side? And we deleted that K91 must be like, I've just been deleted by a guy that flipped his tank. Oh. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, the TVP is worth the grind. The Skoda T50 is fantastic. You get this Tier 10. This Tier 10 is definitely a tank that feels just worse than the Tier 9, you know what I mean? It's one of those where you play it's like the MX M454 was to the 51, where it's like, this is the Tier 10 compared to the Tier 9. Like, the Tier 9 just felt better for tier, and it's the same in this. But like I say, it's a decent tank still. It's decent. I hope that one day when if they were to look at this line and help it, because it's a line that needs help apart from the Tier 9, is that they would give it its old intro clip back. That's most of what I'd ask. The old intro clip and maybe the old reload back, you know, just back to its former glory, essentially, especially with a lot of the tanks that are in the game now, like the VZ55, for example, which is its Czech brother. So, in terms of a crew on the TVP, what do I run? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Track Mechanic, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Camo Expertise. Now this tank doesn't have the best of camo, so I want to run Camouflage to help it a little bit. And I've been changing it up and out here and there. It depends how I feel. And to be perfectly honest, it should be how you feel and how you feel with the tank. I have been running Vert Stabs, Optics, and Camo Net, but then I've also been changing out and running Optics, Vert Stabs, and Vents as well. If you don't really care for the camo build that much, and you know, you just go with the fact that it is a fat tank and it doesn't really have the best of camo in the universe, then definitely drop out the Camo Net and run Vents, and then the Camouflage Expertise skill, you could probably just run something else, like maybe Rapid Aim to make the turret traverse better, or, you know, there's a multitude of other skills that you could definitely use instead of that Camouflage Expertise. It's all down to you. Like I say, with the crew skills and the equipment sort of guides, I suppose, that I sort of give out on this channel, they're always bases, right? They're always the base. Sort of, you can start out there, and then how you work out how to play the tank and how you feel with the tank, because it's always down to your personal preference. You can set the tank up right for you. So this game has gone pretty well. We unfortunately only reloaded one shell of APCR, which meant we couldn't finish off the artillery with any more shells, but we go for the glory kill on him and ram him to death. And we had a nice game of the TVP there. 3 kills, 7.6k damage, 870 assisted. Confederate sniper, high caliber, the first class, 1472 base XP. A nice game for the TVP, doing nearly 8k. We're doing, what, 8.5k combined. Show what the tank can do definitely in when you catch people, really. When you catch people, you can just dump out the clip, do a good amount of damage. Like I said, the big problem with the tank is the machine. It just is, because it has the exact same gun, but, you know, it's nearly as mobile as this tank is. But just performs flat out better, realistically, because it has armour. And, you know, like, if we're on proc, like this, sure, I can go use the good gun depression of this tank and get shots out, right? I could do that in the machine as well, and I can go hull down and definitely risk staying up on a ridgeline, dropping shots. Is what it is. The machine's a beast, though. The machine's a stupidly good tank. You know, why they ever gave it the stats that they did, and then after the nerfing this, I'll never know. I don't think we'll ever know that one. So we're on Prokhorovka in the second game. And yes, that's the other thing I was thinking about when I was thinking about the vents on the equipment, right? You can also run traction system. Get yourself up to 60 kilometers an hour, and I actually believe I was using the traction system in this replay, which is why I was going at 60. You can use that to be able to get quicker, definitely. Again, up to you how you want to play it. It is definitely a useful tool for this tank, because of just having that extra speed. You don't really have the camo, so getting into more aggressive positions without having to rely on your camo, all well and good. So on proc, we've taken this position that I tend to take quite often at FE4, and that is because this position is a fairly solid counter to their position over there, well, at F3, because I can spot out down the 1-2. If I poke this ridge and boost with food, generally, if they have TDs and mediums and probably heavies, to be honest, with the 1-2 line, you know how it is. If they fire, I'm going to spot them, and if they fire and I spot them, I get assistance. Beauty. So, we get the shells in. The Projectile 65 stops looking at us. Everything stops looking at us when we got unspotted. We pop up, assassinate the Projectile 65. That guy was in the bowl. He was going to be spotting our guys. We had to get rid of that guy. And it was just it was quite a nice clean assassination, really, because we got up there, didn't take a hit, got rid of him. And we didn't stick around to just try and drop the 2 shots, because that would have been a waste. What we did is killed him and then went straight for the reload and relocated. Because that's the benefit of the tank, is the fact that it reloads really quickly, and the ability to relocate, and if you fire only 2 shots, it means you're not going to be... Well, it means you're basically not going to be reloading for about 10 years while you're waiting for your shells to go back in it. You don't regret reloading as much, if you have to. So now we're in a position to try and get shots on the hill. We're going to try and get some shots into this 60 TP, but it's a bit awkward at this range with the 248 APCR pen. We're not going to be able to pen him, essentially. It's just not going to happen. And we're just trying to hopefully ping this guy over here, because it's like, if you spot him, guys, there's something in that middle. Did you see the heat shell that flew at us in a minute ago? There is something in the middle of that, in front of the 60 TP. If someone just pokes up and spots it, you've got an E4, you saw another heat shell flying. They're literally somewhere on the left. I decided, you know, I'm going to try and pop some blind shots, because that 60 TP might be there. Don't hit any of them. But yeah, there's something just in the middle of that hill. It's like, well, that guy, we will not spot that guy. If someone just poked the ridge on the hill, they'd be able to spot him. They would have got a ton of assistance, because we would have all blapped it. But unfortunately, they all got finished off. There's the heavy tank that's in the middle that was firing heat. But because no one's spotting the hill anymore, it was like, I'm just going to run away, because if I get spotted, whatever's on the hill is just going to tonk me. And that is not good. We don't want that. because that's a surefire way to lose our hit points again. So we're just going to rotate back into this position and see what we can do from here again, because now we're out of render from the hill. We're not going to get shot from the hill. We just need to try and see what we're doing. But at the minute it's a little bit frustrating because we're just stuck. It feels like we're stuck at the minute. It's like, right, okay, what am I going to do? Well, they're breaking off the hill now. This T-57 Heavy, that's what was firing heat from the top of the hill unspotted. That T-57 Heavy's come off the hill, and I'm thinking, maybe they're going to be off the hill, right? It's going to be safe now to be over here. And there's another T-57 Heavy. So you know what? We're bored of playing that. We're going to play aggressive. We rush over the train tracks. We go as quickly as we can so we don't get caught out by the guys on the F line. And now we're going straight for this T-57 Heavy. The 60 TP starts looking at us and it's like, no, Mr. 60 TP, don't do it. We're just going to stop behind the building for a second, wait for him to bugger off. And now we're on our way for this T-57. We know the T-57 Heavy is pretty healthy. We've got an FV-4202 backing us up. So it's now time to go drop our clip in and assassinate this guy. And it's like, right, where is he? There he is. He's firing. He's preoccupied, which is perfect for us. We pop in, auto-aim one, pen it. Managed to ricochet somehow off on the second one, but pen the final two. We're up to 2.2k damage and 781 assistance. Now we've got to try and win this hill, or we can get shots at the guys in the middle. We know there's a 60 TP across from us on the hill, and that guy's going to be sitting there hull down. And that's just going to be an awkward customer. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop up on top of this little ridgeline here and see if we can get a shot. But unfortunately, the 60 TP ends up spotting us and is trying to get a shot at us. It's like, no, no sir, no sirree, I'm not doing that. Just looking at it and like thinking, right, what can I do here? I can't get the 60 TP. He's going to be hulled down, and even if that, I'm going to have to try and get shots into his lower plate, and he's just going to blap me, and we don't want that. So you know what? We're going to see if there's anything camping on the train tracks for them. If there's not, we're going to try and get wide to see if we can get some shots into the 60 TP. Now, we've got close to the train tracks and we're not actually spotting anything. We ended up getting spotted by the 60 TP who just poked his turret above the ridgeline. Then we spot a medium tank that's sitting at K7. Yeah, K7. And I'm just thinking, you know what, I think he's AFK. I'm just going to ignore it. So right now we've got that sneaky side shot position on this 60 TP. He's just fired, so I know that I'm safe to drop the clip and stop for a second. Now we've got to get under his gun line. We're just ducking under the gun line as quickly as we can, because this will give us time to reload. And to be honest, I'm not thinking he's going to jump off this cliff. He's in a strong position, right? He's not going to jump off this cliff. Oh, okay, he's jumping off the cliff. So we don't fire there. Well, we're not reloaded, so, you know. But we're not going to fire here because I don't want to waste a shell. I have to pen all three to guarantee kill this guy. So we get one in, we get two in, get three in. And thanks to the shell discipline there, we managed to kill the 60 TP. If I'd fired there when he was sliding down the hill with a really chancy shot, he would probably get two shots into us, or he probably would have got another shot into us and we'd have lost a load of hit points. And we did not want that there. So we had to hold our shot, be patient, wait for the perfect chance to get the shot in. And we did, and we managed to finish him off. So now we're into this position here. We're hull down against these guys, and we're just going to keep wiggling while we're waiting for the intro clip. But unfortunately, we bounced a load of shots on the 7.52 because shooting at the lower plate of those 7.52s is so awkward at times, because you do get a lot of random ricochets, which is why the armor is weird on that tank. It is a weirdly armored tank, and it's got that weird boat shape. But, like, when you shoot at the front, sometimes it will just ricochet because it's got all these weird angles, and having the APCR doesn't help on that. And then, as well as that, if you're shooting at the side, sometimes you're not going to pen because of the boat-shaped hull, and you're probably going to miss the hull and just hit the tracks. The 7.52 is a really awkward tank to shoot. And it's why I like it, because the armor's awkward. So, we're going to try and get some awkward shots into these guys. We've got up behind them, waiting for the shells to go in. And this QL is looking this way, and it's like, okay, Mr. QL, I don't like that. But he starts to look away, and it's like, well, okay, I'm just going to drop the... Oh, that's his ammo rack. Okay, I don't need to drop the rest of the clip into that E4. The problem is we've only got heat left, and I hate heat shells, because the killer shot on that QL there ends up just getting absorbed by the spaced armor. Yep, spaced armor, everybody. Heat shells, worst nightmare. Guaranteed kill shot if we were firing APCR there, but unfortunately not. But I mean, we popped the E4s down right for 1,000 in that clip. We can't complain, right? The problem is now that QL is going to be staring at us because he's not going to be happy. But we are loaded, so we try and get a shell in. We end up tracking him and penning him, which is something that I didn't expect to do, to be honest. And that's exactly what I expected with that tracking shot when we tracked and penned him. We hit him in the side with the heat. Got absorbed again. Flat side. If we were firing APCR then, we probably would have penned at least 3 out of 4 of those shots because one of them was fairly dodgily aimed at his front drive wheel. But again, this is why the tank is beastly, because we're nearly reloaded again, and it's like, well, this guy's distracted. Can I finish off QL? No, you know what? I'm going to come over on this M48. We get 1 in, we get 2 in. We're going to make sure these shells go in, and we get another one in there, and he gets finished off. So we made sure there that the shells were going in. We weren't going to be shooting his side armor because, again, we didn't want the spaced armor to absorb the heat shells because the heat shells are dreadful. And we managed to get 3 of the 4 shots in because someone else finished off. And we're up to 8k, 919 spotting. And there's 3 tanks left. We know where one of them is. They're sort of in the dip at G3. And I'm trying to get into a position up here to try and spot. But unfortunately, physics just isn't letting us, and we probably took the wrong way there. The Leopard gets shut down, so again, like I say, we know where one of them is. The other heavy tank is at F2, and did you see the shell tracer there? That shell tracer came from that tree line directly over there. So it's like, right, okay, so what I want to do is I want to take a wide berth. I want to get to these ridges over here so that I can go from ridge line to ridge line and stay safe from whatever the tank is over there. So there's the QL, it's in the bowl, and I'm like, right, I'm not getting to the bowl, I'm just going to charge for this heavy tank that's on HJ2. Straight for him. The reason we took the long route round that we did is, like I say, because we wanted to go ridgeline to ridgeline. If he was going to poke up, we could duck below the ridgeline, get below the gun line easily and stay safe. But now we've got the 60 TP exactly where we want him. We get 1 in, we get 2 in, 3, and then 4. Now their machine's coming around. It's like, okay, I'm going to chance it. He can't hit me. Nope, nope. And he doesn't hit it, which is great. And he gets machined. And then, well, 4005 finishes him off. And that finished off a really great game for the TVP 50/51. Finished with the victory. 4 kills, 9,284 damage, 919 assistance, ace tanker, the high caliber, the sniper medal, and 1,932 base XP. A really nice game for the TVP T50/51. It's a great tank. Kind of wish I had the same intro clip as the machine, because the machine does just make this tank obsolete, unfortunately, for it. But it is what it is. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!